Hey everybody, welcome back to Unbox Analysis. Today we're here to check out the Ausom Leopard. They said this all to me and I really appreciate it. Audio is going to be a little weird because of where we're filming. Hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, let's check out a few things. So, here in the back, we have a 1000 watt motor. We have dual disc brakes in the front. They call it an emergency brake. They stop really fast. You can see on the swing arm here, you have full suspension, a raised stop pad for riding stability, and then moving up towards the front, it's kind of the same general idea. You have a swing arm here, disc brakes, coming up to another swing arm. The construction on this thing is awesome. It's super comfortable, it rides great. Now I will say, there are a couple things about it that aren't quite what I expected. Speed-wise, they say it's a top speed of 34. The fastest I've been able to get it up to is about 25 miles per hour. But it is still fairly quick, and it does struggle a little bit on big inclines. But overall, this scooter is built for comfort and long range, boasting a 52 max range, given that's in setting 1, the lowest speed. If you're trying to get as far as you can on a single charge, or using this as a vehicle replacement, that's an awesome idea. Coming up top here, so up top we have the full LCD display. You have your controls, which boast a headlight. Here, we'll take a look at the headlight down in front. So on top of the headlight, we also have some running lights down here. So the running lights also double as blinkers, which is kind of nice. Then coming around back, we also have a brake light here, which flashes when you're holding the brakes. So right here on top, you have your throttle, you have your mode selector. If you look here on the far right of the screen, there are 3 different modes. You have mode 1, 2, and 3. Mode 1 is going to lock you at 9 miles an hour. Mode 2 is going to lock you at 22 miles an hour, slower acceleration. And then mode 3 is supposed to be the top speed that gets you up to a 34 miles an hour. Up here we have both brake handles, the LCD screen, and this is the latching mechanism that locks for carrying. It's super simple and it works great. Here's your light switch again. That turns on all of your surrounding lights, plus your blinkers, and here is your horn.
Okay, so when you open it up, you're gonna be greeted with a couple of different things here. So you're gonna have the scooter, handles are gonna be hanging down. We'll get to that in a second. Next up, you're gonna be hit with a toolkit. Okay, so the toolkit, as you can see, a whole bunch of Allens. Then if you flip this open, you get a couple different sockets, flathead, Phillips, and this square looking bit. Honestly, one of the cooler toolkits I've seen come with just about anything. Usually you get a couple of random Allens kicking around. Now what this is useful for is basically everything on the scooter. I imagine this is going to cover every single tool set you might need, because if you're riding these a lot, any kind of scooter, high end, low end, budget, top end, things are going to come loose. It just happens, you know, especially if you're riding off-road, across dirt, all that kind of stuff. It's going to happen, trust me. So set that to the side. Next up, you're going to have your charger. This is a 54.6 volt charger. I did test charging it from empty. I believe it took about 5.5 hours to test from, I think I was probably close to 5% after all my test riding. And yes, I have already ridden this. Most of the video was already filmed. The footage from putting this together got a little bit lost, so I came back to show you guys again. So putting this together, you got 2 options. Use the included toolkit, or you can grab yourself a drill. Not the most recommended, because if you're not used to torque specs and stuff like that, you might strip them out pretty easy. But this is a 3/16 Allen bit attachment right here. So what you're gonna wanna do, make sure your scooter is up and secured. I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. Then you're going to take the handles. You'll see the cable right here hanging. It's gonna kind of go around to the right side. It's gonna do it pretty naturally. You don't gotta worry about that too much. Then you're gonna set this down on top, but you're gonna want it twisted forward. Watch out for the cables here, kind of pull them back. When you have it set just right, just like in this picture here, you're going to be able to have access to all 4 of the screws with the screen flipped backwards. So then you're going to take this little guy right here, this little square mounting bracket, and you're going to set it right on top. And then as simple as that, you're going to thread in the 4 different bolts that come with it. It also comes with a spare just in case you lose one. So keep that one on backup and, you know, just put it in your kit just in case for down the road. So to put these in, pretty simple. Choose the right size tool and, you know, just thread them in. So a lot of scooters that are shipped to you are going to come this way with the handles off, because it really reduces the size of the shipping box. In the box, obviously, you're going to have some instructions, but you're also going to have the keys. Okay, so the keys, they're going to go in right here next to the handle. In order to turn this thing on, you're going to turn the key to the right, nothing's going to happen. And then you're going to hold this black button right down here until your screen is illuminated, and then you have access to your headlights, your blinkers, your horn, whatever you're feeling. Super simple setup, takes minutes at best. So keep in mind, these keys are also going to be your way to safeguard this thing. I don't know the security that goes into this lock, but say you're going to a store and you want to run inside and don't want to carry your 69-pound scooter inside, pop the key out. Now keep in mind that it's not going to stop somebody from picking up and walking away with it, but it's a pretty good deterrent in a safe area. Now one of the coolest things included with this scooter is the seat. Now for me, it's not the most important thing because I'm not really a commuter rider. I don't live in a city where it's very feasible. And when I'm riding a scooter, I just like to stand. That's my comfort zone. That's where I have the fun. But for those commuting, the seat is pretty next level. Really nice setup, very comfortable seat. So the seat is gonna go, right here is the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket sits here, 4 screws, and it's in, and it's very solid. The actual seat itself slides right in through the top. Loosen this clamp, slide it in, give it a little tap, tighten it back up at the height you prefer, and you're good to go. Now, looking at the seat here, it's got a lot of suspension, a lot of comfort, a lot of adjustability. So when you mix in the adjustability with the top, you have the handlebars. They can go up or down. They have 3 different settings. Seriously, an awesome addition. Most companies sell just a basic seat, you know, smaller, not much cushion, no springs, no adjustments. They sell that for an extra $100 plus. So you have this absolute monster of a bracket. Also, once you install the bracket, you can remove this part of the bracket, saving you a lot of space and allowing you to just have the little foot piece there so it doesn't get in your way, and still super easy to ride with the rear foot pad. But again, if you're riding around a whole bunch in a city and you just prefer to sit down, you feel safer, better visibility, whatever your standing is, this is a great included seat, especially in this price range. 1,000-watt motor, seat, fully adjustable, great suspension, all for under $1,000 bucks. Let me know what you think. All right, next we'll talk about the folding, unfolding, and the lock system. So right here in the back, you're going to have a yellow hook. A little hard to see up there. So right here in the back, you're going to have a yellow hook. So this yellow hook right here hooks onto a bar right down below here. And in order to get it out, you just push it forward and then lift. So as you're lifting, you'll notice right up here in the front, it goes all the way up and it kind of clicks in. So this does have a drop pin right here. So if you pull this, that's how you fold it down as well. But then you line up this metal wedge here and then you just twist it in. You're gonna wanna make sure this is secured all the way. Otherwise you might have a wobbly ride, or it might be a little bit unsafe if you hit some big bumps and this pin pops out. But that pin is in there pretty good. It's held in with the retaining spring, pretty nice. And real quick, one more handy accessory that comes with this, bike tire pump. So this, unlike most of the other scooters I get, actually has air in the tires. It adds for a little bit smoother of a ride, gives you a little bit more safety and reliability. So, you know, you get a hole in this, you can just replace the tube, because it also comes with 2 spare tubes for the tires. I mean, it's a cheap one, but it's gonna do the job just fine. All right, on to the test rides. Okay, so with all of that said, it's time to go out and take it for a test ride. Okay, so as you can see, the setup is pretty simple. You're gonna release the rear golden clip from the hook, lift up the handlebar into place, and tighten the front wedge. Make sure you tighten it all the way, or the front handles are going to sit a little bit loose. Okay, so jumping right in, I took it for quite a few test rides through the town, down some trails, but here in town, it rode great. I kept up with traffic pretty easily in these slower speed zones, and on the road is where this thing really is gonna shine. Now, sure, you can get through, you know, off-roading, stuff like that with this kind of scooter, but I feel like its main design overall is for a more comfortable commute, right? You're gonna have a longer battery life, you're gonna have a little bit more of a comfortable ride. Also, please don't mind the editing. I'm pretty new to the 360-degree camera world, still learning. Bear with me, it's gonna get better, I promise. You can see here on a few of these bumps, now it looks pretty bumpy, but overall on the actual scooter, it felt really smooth. I think that was just my editing with the camera there. So a couple things I noticed is that with some of the bigger inclines, it does seem to struggle just a little bit. Nothing too major. I mean, this is a pretty steep hill in grass. If this was dirt, I'm sure it would have done it just fine. But as you can see here, it just quite couldn't do it. Now keep in mind,
My battery was at about 50% here. I'm not sure how much that really impacts the overall abilities. But one of the most impressive things about this scooter is its ability to stop. This thing stops so fast, it's not even funny. I mean, immediately. Moving right along to the suspension test, I found this fun little jump here. I was just kind of hitting it a few times. Now, it's hard to tell in the video, but when I'm landing, it feels like I'm in a vehicle with like really good suspension. It feels like I'm coming down on a nice soft cushion. Now, jumping into the speed test here. Looks like speed 1 gets you to about 8 or 9 miles an hour with low torque. I think this is going to be their longest range mode. It's not very fast. It's not really the most fun. It's personally not a mode I'm going to use very often. But hey, if you're trying to save battery life, if you're getting low, clicking down to this mode, you're going to get some extra range out of it. Then if you jump it up into mode 2, it says the max speed's about 20 miles an hour. It has a lot more acceleration, a lot more torque. So let's go ahead and jump into mode 3 here. You're going to notice the acceleration is a lot faster. It's definitely just a lot more responsive all around. But the max speed and the max range and all that kind of stuff is going to depend on how high your battery is when you're trying to hit these speeds. I spoke with the engineers over at Ausom quite a bit just because I had some questions. They said max speed of 34. Well, that's highly dependent on your weight and how high your battery is charged. So keep that in mind. So I weigh about 185 pounds. They say the max speed is 34 miles an hour if you weigh about 140 pounds. So that also depends highly on your battery percentage. You know, if you have a higher battery, you can get a little bit higher top speed at the top end of the battery. Now, the fastest I can get it going with my weight was about 27 miles an hour, which is a lot faster than any of the scooters I've tested out so far and still leads to a really good ride. All right, so jumping right into conclusions here, I think it's a fantastic scooter. The build quality is definitely higher tier than anything I've ever seen. Now, keep in mind, my scooter experience is $1,200 scooters that are made to be ridden every single day and rented out. Totally different genre of scooter, totally different build. And then, of course, I've got a couple that I've seen from Highboy and a few other of the budget entry-level brands. But I really appreciate Ausom sending that over to me. I think for under $1,000, a 1,000-watt scooter that can go up to 50 miles on a single charge is pretty impressive. So make sure to check them out in the link below. Now, a couple other things to the audience here. If you guys like this new style of content, new filming, I want to do a lot more scooters. I find them super interesting. I'm going to definitely be buying a couple. So here's what I need you guys to do. Drop some comments down below. Let me know which scooters you want to see. Now, keep it reasonable. I do still work a full-time job. But you know, if there's anyone you've been thinking about buying, if I get enough comments with the same scooter, I'm going to go ahead and buy those. Check them out. Now, the footage from my 360-degree camera, it was a little rough. It's supposed to be recording in 5.7K or something like that. And I think I edited it incorrectly, so it's a little grainy. I apologize for that, but hopefully you still get the idea. On that note, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and make sure to comment down below what you guys want to see. It helps out a whole bunch, and it really helps me know what to make videos on to keep you guys entertained. All right, thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.